walk you through our flow today, and I'm going to be starting in a seat, sitting on the block. So if you do want to sit up on something so that you can just keep your hips a little bit higher than your knees perhaps. So I like to sit right on the edge of the block, so maybe a cushion, unless you're really opening the hips and that feels comfortable to just sit where you are. I'm going to bring hands to thighs, and today's practice is around grounding ourselves but also taking care of ourselves as well, and giving ourselves some self-love. So it's something that I work on regularly, and I invite you to do the same. So when we come through our practice today, with every kind of breathing exercise that we come through, I just want you to think about how you can show up for yourself so that you can then show up for others. And that's so important. I use that phrase quite a lot. So kind of taking care of yourself comes first, otherwise we can't take care of the people that we love around us. So definitely looking after ourselves throughout practice is very important, whether you want to push yourself today or whether you want to take a step back and be a little bit more chilled in your movements and take a pause, and that's completely okay, because I just want you to listen to your body and do what feels good. So we're going to start in that comfortable seat, sat up nice and tall, just bring hands to thighs. Just take a few moments to roll out the shoulders, to create some big circles. And we'll just start to just relax the shoulders all the way down, and as you relax your shoulders down, notice that you can squeeze your scapulas together, so your shoulder blades at the back, just so that you can elevate your chest forward. And with that, just keeping a nice tall spine, so kind of lifting up from your waist, then moving up towards your head, just lengthening your neck. Just imagine that there's a string just above your head, pulling your head, so you're just kind of keeping your neck nicely elongated. Alright, close down your eyes, and we're just going to take some soft breaths to start our practice today. So just allow all that breath to leave your body. Take a big exhale. I'm going to make them really active breaths today. Breathing in through your nose for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that breath at the top, and then big breath, just sigh it out. Just letting all that stress go. Take a deep breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale, just let it go. And notice if you can relax the muscles in your face this time. Breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. This time hold it at the top. Then big breath out, let it go. We're going to make them a little bit softer. So breathing in for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that breath at the top. And we're just going to really softly breathe out of the mouth for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. Exhale, release for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. And exhale, let it go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more like that. Breathe it in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top and let it go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Start to bring lips together. Just breathe in and out of your nose. Cultivate UGI breath. So when we say breathing through UGI breath, we're finding that restriction at the back of the throat. So just imagine that you're fogging up a mirror, just using that breath. So maybe even making that breath like so that you can hear it. It's just at the back of the throat. And when we bring attention to our breath, our UGI breath, that just allows your mind to kind of stay focused with your breath, your body, and kind of going a little bit more internal. And whether that's just fully absorbing into the practice, listening to my voice, listening to the practice, or just going inside and just noticing how you're feeling today, what your emotions are, what the body's telling you, if you're feeling any pains or aches. When we focus so much on the breath, that allows those senses to become a little bit more open. So we're going to hold that with us in our heart today. On your next inhale, let's take a breath in, reach arms up nice and high, palms come together. You can flutter open your eyes, just keep them really soft. As you exhale, just cactus open your arms, lift through your heart. Finding a few little cracks in my shoulders there. Take an inhale, reach arms nice and high. And as you exhale, cactus open your arms, just guide the elbows down, draw the shoulders down away from ears. Let's take one more. Inhale, reach arms nice and high. As you exhale, just find that cactus with the arms once again. Alright, let's take an inhale to reach the arms back high. And as you exhale, just bring your hands down to your thighs and just roll back the shoulders once again. Just finding any movements through the head. Alright, if you was sat on top of something, you can stay seated as you are. We're going to take a little twist. So this time, let's take an inhale, reach arms up nice and high. As you exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So we're going to start to bring that left arm towards the outside of the right knee. And then this right arm is just going to go back behind you as a little kickstand. So it's a bit of a funky twist. But with this right arm, we need to create some big circles. So reach that right arm up high, and then take it all the way behind you. So aiming to keep the arm straight, and then creating those big circles once again. So just kind of gaze back behind you at that right hand as you create those big circles. And just finding that Ujjayi breath. And then just slowly release the right hand to the ground, it's like a little kickstand. And then just start to slowly swoop that left arm up towards the sky, bring it all the way back down, just gaze forwards, and just roll out the shoulders once again. Okay, funky twist. Alright, we're going to take an inhale, reach the arms high. As we exhale, I'm going to twist over to the left. So that left arm is going to go back behind you, that right arm is just going to go to the back of the hand to the back of your thigh. Just kind of lifting through your heart, reach that left arm nice and high. We're going to create these circles behind. Just imagine my arm is straight, so I have a dresser behind me. We're going to take those big circles of windmilling at your arm. Just keeping your spine nice and tall, just opening everything up. Find those breaths. And slowly we're going to release that left arm down behind. Just take an inhale to lift through the heart. Just gaze back behind you. And then we're slowly going to swoop that right arm up towards the sky and then bring it all the way back down. And just bring hands to thighs. I'm going to take some Sufi rolls here. We're going to kind of lean forward, melt the heart forward, just feeling into the back body, noticing how the back feels today as you open everything up. And then slowly lower all the way down, just letting your head hang super heavy, just rolling to one side, bringing that breath in and that breath out. And then we're slowly going to find those circles in the opposite direction. Just letting that breath come in, letting that breath come out. One more roll wherever you are, and then coming back to a nice neutral spine. So removing anything you're sat on, we're going to come onto all fours. So start by planting your hands on the mat, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and see what it feels like if you took the toes today. We're going to take some little hip rolls. So we're just going to roll the hips down towards that right heel. Just let your head hang heavy. Then roll your glutes over to the left heel, over to the left side, and then rolling all the way forward, maybe just over your wrist. And just continue with these little hip circles, just letting your head hang heavy, so not kind of straining your neck to kind of look at the screen. it feels good. Maybe take the knees back a little bit so you've got a bit more of a wider distance between hands and knees, just to see if that feels a little better in the body. It actually feels a lot better for me if I take it a bit wider. So just taking it nice and slow, and then just start to reverse those circles. Maybe dipping the hips a little. Just feeling into the body and what it needs. Kind of unfurling the spine. Just connecting with that breath. Slowly, whenever you're ready, just come back to that neutral tabletop. So maybe bring the knees in slightly, hands on the shoulder. Now we're going to stretch the wrists today with palms facing down, fingers pointing towards the knees. So you can start off with hands closer to the knees. Now if this feels good and your arms are straight, you can stay here, or we can take a little rock forward and back. Now if this feels fine in your wrist, which hopefully if you're taking my classes, your wrists are nice and open, because I always like to open up the wrist. I'm going to ask you to, or invite you to do a little cow and cat while you are stretching your wrist. So with an inhale, lift your heart forward and just allow your belly button to drop. You can tuck your toes, see how that feels, just to open up. And as you exhale, round your spine, gaze within. Spread your shoulder blades apart, let your head hang nice and heavy. And if this feels funky in the wrist, you can always place your hands to that normal position with fingers pointing forwards. And join us with this cat and cow. I'm just taking it at your own pace. So know that I am here to guide you, but if anything does feel a little funky, you think that's not for me today, you can always take your variation. So just notice what feels good for you today. Just continue with those cow and cats for just a couple more breaths. And maybe feels a little different as you stretch the wrists at the same time. And then coming back to a neutral spine, just shake out one hand. And you're going to place it down, fingers pointing the long edge of your mat. Shaking both hands out so your fingers are pointing outwards. We're just going to take some circles here. So circling forward, similar to what we did earlier, just circling the hips. And then just reverse those circles, so not too many. Just kind of opening up the wrists so that they feel good when we put the pressure on them. We don't stretch wrists enough, so if it does feel really tight in there, probably means that you need to do more. Alright, so we'll give those wrists a little extra love. Just sit back on your knees, and I'm just going to do some little, so kind of taking the back of the hands and kind of rolling the wrists together, and then kind of making this nice funky little shape. And then just reversing that action, so back of the hands together, kind of rolling the wrists together. And it feels quite nice. You can always take a pause during the day to do this kind of thing. If you're typing a lot on your phone a lot. Alright, and then just shake out the hands, make sure they feel good. Nice and loose. We'll come back to all fours. We'll take a few rounds of cow and cat here, pressing fingertips into the ground. Inhale, lift your heart forward. Belly button drops towards the ground, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, round your spine. Let your head hang heavy. Really start to send the spine up towards the sky as you send the tailbone down. Inhale as you lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale as you ground through the spine. Just take another inhale to lift through the heart. And exhale as you round. Alright, let's get straight into it. So nice neutral spine. I invite you to just send your knees back a little bit further, maybe like an inch or two. And start to tuck your toes. As you grip the ground with your fingers, start to lift your hips high, find your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, just bending the knees, straightening the knees maybe one at a time. Maybe just gazing under one armpit and then the other. Notice if you can relax your head a little bit more. Notice how that breath feels through your body as you find that inhale. soft exhale. And just taking any movement here just for the next few breaths. And knowing that you can always come down to knees at any time we're in our downward dog. So let's take an inhale and just send the tailbone to the sky. Just let your head hang nice and heavy. Notice if you can feel the strength through your arms. Find out that really slight external rotation of your biceps. Noticing if you can melt your heart towards your thighs. Then send your tailbone higher and maybe get into the hamstrings a little bit more. Let that breath be nice and strong as you breathe gently in and breathe gently out. Next inhale, start to extend your right leg up towards the sky. As you exhale, bring that right foot forward between your hands and then just slowly lower the left knee down. Start to rise up, lift your torso, reach your arms nice and high, point fingers to the sky, and just notice if your right ankle is above or your right knee is above your right ankle. So you can always just wiggle the toes a little bit further forward. I want to get that nice lunge here, so we're feeling it in the left hip flexor. So finding that melt as you sink down into the lunge. And with your arms lifting nice and tall as you lift from your waist, notice if you can soften the shoulders down while still aiming to have those nice straight arms. Take a soft inhale, draw your belly button in towards your spine, and just keep your neck nice and long. Take a soft inhale. Now as you exhale, I'm going to start bringing that right hand down towards the ground. Now it may be that your fingers don't reach the ground. You can always use a prop underneath your hand, and then start to lean that left arm up and over. Just pointing through your fingertips. Bring that soft breath in, and soft breath out. Really getting into that left side body. Reach that little bit further, and then slowly and gently come back through center. Reach arms nice and high. Exhale as you catch, just open your arms. Maybe even take the gaze upwards as you lift your heart and feel your heart opening to that self-love today. Just holding it here, find that soft breath, and slowly let it go. Alright, with an inhale, reach arms nice and high. Exhale, bring fingertips towards the ground. We're going to lift the back knee, tuck the back toes, and then start to just step that left foot forward enough to bring the left heel down and straighten the front leg. Just let your head get really heavy. So coming to like a nice pyramid fold. You can always use props underneath the hands if your hands don't reach the ground. And you can always wiggle that left heel a little bit further or back so that you can get a deep stretch. So I was like, okay, maybe I can take that heel back and I can get a little bit deeper into my stretch here. Just letting your head get really heavy. So just giving your body a moment to absorb the sensations. So not moving too fast so that we don't feel how the body responds. So going that little bit slower just allows the muscles to catch up and maybe sink a little bit deeper. Allow that breath to come in. Allow your body to fold a little bit more on the exhale, just let go. Just take another round of breath here, just really feeling into that breath. Alright, then on your next inhale, I invite you to slowly rise up. Now we're going to bend the knee and just, you can open up that left foot a little. We're coming into a warrior one. So hands to waist to start with. So you can always wiggle the feet. So I actually like to go, so we'll take the right foot maybe a little bit wider apart to the edge of the mat so that you have a bit of a distance between the feet. And I want to square the hips. I forgot what hips are called for a minute. I'm going to guide the left hip back, right hip slightly forward. Maybe it's just a really soft bend in the front knee like I have here. I'm going to try and keep that left heel rooted. Once you have it, reach your arms up nice and high and take a soft breath in. As you exhale, soften down the shoulders. Notice if you can melt into that front knee just a tiny bit more. You can always bring that left foot a little bit further forward so that you can bend a little bit more into the front knee. So just kind of playing around with that foot As you exhale, we'll start to come into our warrior three. So hinging your body forward, maybe hands come to heart center as you lift the back leg, or maybe bringing fingertips to the ground. So gazing down, see how that feels. You can always use props underneath your fingertips, gripping the ground with your right toes. And just noticing if you can point your left toes towards the ground. So inviting that nice roundness of your inner left thigh. Beautiful. Take a soft inhale. Now really slowly, we're going to move slowly here, nice and controlled. Bend the front knee. Really slowly step that left foot all the way to the back of the mat. So really wide lunge. Sink into the front knee, high crescent, reach arms nice and high. Take a soft inhale. Now as you exhale, I want you to slowly bend your left knee and bring that knee all the way down towards the ground. Alright, we're in a low lunge. Perfect, you can always wiggle those right toes forward, just holding it here for an inhale. Exhale, bring fingertips towards the ground, lift the back knee and send that right leg up towards the sky, one-legged dog. Bend your knee and stack your hip and just create some circles with that right knee. So just taking it in one direction, just letting your head hang heavy and then circling into the opposite direction. Now options here are wild thing, and you can take the modified version or the full version. So modified version, maybe bring the right foot down to start with, bringing the knees to the ground, kicking that left foot out to the side, and then extending the right leg, sending that right foot behind you, taking the right arm up and over, pressing your chest and your hips to the sky. You can stay here, or if you do want to take the fuller version, maybe you're already there, from downward dog, you can keep that right leg extended, and then slowly send the right foot behind you, straightening the left leg, and reaching that right arm behind. Take a breath here as you open up through the heart. And then whenever you're ready, back to a downward facing dog wherever you are. And then slowly making your way to a child's pose. So knees nice and wide, toes to touch. And just melting your heart and your forehead to the ground. Let your head get really heavy as you creep your fingertips forward. Just letting everything go. Soft breath in, soft breath out. Just letting everything melt. And just taking time to really sink in to the hips, letting your arms get heavy and your head relax. Just giving yourself this time, this pause, before we move on to our second side. Just being really thoughtful in our movements, showing ourselves that self-care, that self-love, or just being open to how the practice feels, always open to where you want to take it. Alright, we'll take 3 more breaths here. Whenever you're ready, just slowly press yourself all the way back up to your all fours. So hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Okay, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips high, find your downward facing dog. We're going to take a little transition, bend the knees, gaze forward, step or walk top of your mat, forward fold, just kind of really heavy. Take an inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale as you melt and forward fold. Really softly press your heels into the ground and gently rise up, just taking your time to get there. It's coming to stand, reach your arms up nice and high, palms come together. Exhale, cactus, open your arms, lift through your heart, little soft bend through your knees. Inhale, reach up nice and tall, palms come together. And exhale, gently forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. As you exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. You're welcome to take a vinyasa if you're craving it, or just meet us in our downward facing dog. Bringing that breath in, a soft UGI breath out, just focusing on the inhales and exhales through the nose. On your next inhale, lift your left heel high to the sky. Exhale as you bring that left foot forward between your hands, slowly bringing the right knee down and just gently lifting your torso, finding your low lunge. Reach arms high. Just noticing if you want to wiggle the left heel forward so that that left ankle is just underneath the left knee. Reach up out of your waist all the way to fingertips. And as you exhale, soften the shoulders down. Just draw your navel in. Take a soft inhale and a soft exhale. Take a soft inhale. As you exhale, we're going to lean to the left, taking that left hand maybe towards the ground. I just about can't reach, so I'm going to use a prop. So props are really useful. So anything, if you don't have a yoga block, something that resembles it, would be really helpful, just to give a little space to the body. Just bring that breath in, soft breath out. Noticing if you can reach a little further through those right fingertips. And then just softly come back through center, reach arms nice and high. Cactus, open the arms, take the head back, lift everything up. Just guiding the scapulars together, lifting the heart center, showing yourself that left soft love. Inhale, reach arms nice and high. As you exhale, bring fingertips to the ground and slowly start to lift the back knee. Start to step that right foot slightly forward, so finding that pyramid pose and just letting your head hang really heavy. So keeping both heels down, both feet firmly rooted. Noticing if you need a prop underneath the hands. Just letting the head relax. Just bringing that breath in and that breath out. Noticing if you can melt a little bit more while keeping both legs straight. Letting your head get super relaxed, maybe shaking your head, nodding your head, making sure it is definitely relaxed. Just inviting that softness to maybe that left hamstring, your spine. Alright, now we're really slowly going to rise up to that warrior one. So notice where you might need the feet today. So you can step the right heel back slightly, right toes point the top right corner of the mat, little bend in the front knee, just slowly rising up, maybe hands come to the waist to start with. Guide that left hip back, right hip forward, the torso is nice and even facing forward. Reach your arms up high, maybe sink a little deeper into that front knee, and reach your arms up nice and high. Find that soft breath in, and that soft breath out, melting down the shoulders. Just guiding your belly button in towards your spine. Find that soft breath and softly let it go. Alright, slowly bring your hands to heart center or towards your props or the ground as you lift your back leg and start to find your warrior three. So pointing right toes towards the ground, we're aiming for that flat back. So noticing if you need props underneath you, hands to heart center, gripping the ground with your left toes. And just pointing those right toes towards the earth. That's going to internally rotate your right thigh. Beautiful, holding it here nice and strong. Now really softly bend the front knee and step that right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Reach arms high for that high crescent and sink deep into that front knee. Reach up out of your waist, pointing through the fingertips. So you exhale, soften down the shoulders. Find that control through the legs as you slowly melt that right knee all the way to the ground. Taking a pause here, inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring fingers to the ground. You're going to find that modified wild thing. So you could do that from this variation. You can just simply step the left foot back, send it all the way behind, open up the heart. Beautiful. Or taking the fullest version, maybe coming to Your downward dog, lifting the left heel, taking those hip circles maybe to start with, and then simply sending that left foot behind you, opening up the hips and the heart. Letting the head go back, big breath in, and then slowly making your way to your downward facing dog. Take a deep pause, take a soft inhale, big exhale, let it all go. Your choice, take a vinyasa here if you're craving it. Stay in your downward dog or take a child's pose. Taking what you need here just to let go. Find your breath. And just melting into your lower spine. Noticing how the body feels, where you need to take it today. And just letting everything go. Alright, when it feels good, we're slowly going to press into all fours, bringing hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Alright, just creep your fingertips slightly forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips high, find your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out, let it go. With an inhale, bend your knees and gaze forward. Step or walk top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Exhale as you melt and forward fold. Inhale to slowly rise, reach your arms up high, palms come together. Exhale, cactus, open your arms, lift through your heart, soft bend through the knees. Inhale, reach up tall, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog, all through a vinyasa if you're craving it. We're going to move through that flow just a little faster now because we took it pretty slow. See how it feels. So meeting back in our downward dog. Let's take an inhale, lift the right heel high. Exhale, bring that right foot forward between your hands, bring the left knee down. Ooh. Inhale, rise up, find that low lunge. Soft breath in. As you exhale, right hand comes down as you lean to that right side. Inhale, take that gaze upwards, guide the left shoulder blade back in space. Inhale, come back through center, reach tall. Exhale, cactus, open your arms, lift your heart. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, fingertips to the ground, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Slowly step the left foot forward enough to bend both legs, both feet to the ground, and folding into your pyramid. Take a breath in, just lift the heart, and exhale, melt and fold. Slowly bend into the front knee. Rise up to your warrior one, making any feet adjustments you need to settle into the pose. Take a soft inhale, soft exhale. This time we're going to take a bind behind us, so grab your arms behind you or interlace your hands. Find that lift through the heart, gaze up, bending into your front knee, hinge forward to humble warrior. So aiming to bring your head to the inside of your right knee. Let your head hang heavy as you gaze towards that left heel. And just sending knuckles towards the sky if you have that bind. Option here is to keep the bind or bring fingertips to the ground or heart center to slowly lift the back leg and find your warrior three. Pointing left toes to the ground. So hands can be in that bind, hands to the ground, your choice, your practice. Find that breath in. Now really slowly bend your front knee and step that left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Finding high crescent lunge, reach arms high, sink into the front knee. Inhale. Exhale, sink the left knee down all the way, find that low lunge. Bring fingers to the ground. Option to come into your downward facing dog or kick the left foot out and find your modified wild thing. Opening up your heart and your hips to the sky, your variation. Whenever you're ready, coming back, and we'll all meet in that downward facing dog. Take a pause, take a breath. Letting everything go. Let's take a deeper breath here. Inhale. And exhale out of your mouth, let it go. Alright, inhale, let's lift the left heel high. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Slowly bring the right knee down. Rise up to that low lunge, reach your arms up high, lifting out of your shoulders. Then exhale, softening the shoulders. Take a soft inhale. Exhale, bring that left hand down towards the ground. This side is a little tighter for me. Reach it out, inhale. Exhale, come back through center. Cactus, open your arms, lift your heart. Inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, fingertips to the ground. Lift your back knee. Start to walk the right foot slightly forward, pyramid fold. Take a breath in. Exhale as you melt. Slowly adjusting your feet where you need to for that warrior one. Bending into the front knee, rooting the right heel down, reach arms high. Inhale. Exhale, take that bind behind you, either grabbing your arms or your hands, opposite thumb on top this time. Take a lift through your heart as you gaze up. Sink into the front knee, sink your torso forward. Humble warrior. Let your head hang, crown of your head points towards the ground. Find your breath, find your focus. So finding that drishti gaze, something in front of you to focus on. And start to lift the back heel as you lift the back leg, warrior three. Point your right toes to the ground. Find that soft breath. Holding it here, nice and strong. Take an inhale. Hold it here for the exhale. Whether your hands are on the ground or with that bind, softly bend into the front knee. Step your right foot all the way back. High crescent lunge, reach arms high. Slowly and softly bring that right knee all the way to the ground. Gently bring fingers to the earth. Your choice, downward dog to wild thing, or kick that right foot out. Send the left foot behind you for that modified wild thing. Take a breath in as you lift your heart. And as you exhale, bring the left hand towards the ground, coming back to that downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Take a breath in and a breath out, let it go. Slowly bring knees down to the earth and take your knees nice and wide, coming back to child's pose. Toes come to touch. And this time, if you want to take your arms down by your sides, fingers pointing towards toes, give your shoulders a little rest. Bring the forehead down. You can always bring hands to fists and just circle out the wrists. Just take a moment here to close down your eyes. Maybe let the arms get nice and heavy. Just give yourself this pause. Just notice what's going on in the body. Maybe notice if your mind had wandered, or whether you stayed focused with what your body was doing. Maybe was noticing your breath throughout that practice, noticing the challenges, the deep stretches, being aware of how you can take care of your body on the mat. Take about 3 more rounds of breath here. And when you are ready, take your time to bring hands to the ground. And we're going to press up onto a seat, so just take your time to get there. You're going to swing legs out in front and just bending your knees, feet to the ground. Take your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards your body. We're going to lift our hips and find a reverse tabletop. So lifting the hips, aiming for a flat belly as you take the head back. Finding that breath as you lift the hips a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, slowly dip the hips down, taking the hips slightly back and straightening out the legs. Pointing toes towards the sky. Just take an inhale, reach your arms up. Take a breath in. Now as you start to hinge forward, keep a little lift through your heart center and just hinging from your waist. We're aiming to grab toes, we're still keeping the heart lifted. And if your hands don't touch the ground, that's okay. Just rest your arms down by your sides with palms facing upwards. Keep that little lift in your heart. Breathe it in to lift and open. And as you exhale, just melt your belly towards your thighs. So still keeping that lift through the heart. So that's going to avoid the rounding in your spine. Whereas if we just just hang heavy, even though it feels quite nice to do, just see how it feels today to just lift the heart a little in your forward fold. Alright, and if this feels really tight for you, maybe this is something that you need to practice more frequently. I'm a big fan of forward folds throughout the day. It's very calming for the body, and we bring a lot of tension to the lower back. So forward folding, whether it's seated or standing, is a great way to loosen up. We just need to do it more frequently. So take a soft breath in, soft breath out as you melt. One more inhale, one more exhale. Right, slowly lifting your body all the way back upright. We're going to creep the body forward, bending through the knees, just making sure you have space behind you. And then just rooting your feet down to the earth. Reach your arms out in front. Roll your shoulder blades back. Draw your navel in. We're just slowly going to lower down to the earth for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten your legs, straighten your arms, full body stretch. Reach out nice and tall, inhale. And as you exhale, bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a hug, a little rock side to side. So just massaging your lower spine. Okay, I'm going to find a modified fish pose. So you're going to straighten out your legs and just keeping your hands down by your sides. I'm going to kind of press elbows into the ground and lift the heart. So it's a bit of a funky one. We kind of want to bring the hands a little bit higher up. So it's kind of an awkward one to get into, but I kind of like it. So if you come up onto your forearms, that probably feels like a better way to come into it. And then you're going to kind of take your head back, and maybe your top of your head reaches the ground. Now if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, maybe this is not for you, because we kind of want to lift the heart. Alright, a different option is to use a block if you have one, which is my favourite, using it on the lowest level underneath your rib cage, so underneath the heart centre. So even if you have a cushion, you could use that, and then just letting your head go. So much better than trying to do it with your arms. So if you have that variation, just try that for a few breaths. Just something underneath the rib cage. You can try the arm variation, see how that feels, but we don't want any tension in the body. That's the only problem when stretching ourselves, that we can hold tension in other parts of the body while we stretch, which we don't want. So just taking a few breaths wherever you are. Finding that nice openness through the heart center, inviting a little bit of self-love in. And then when you feel ready, just start to bend your knees, feet to the ground, and just really slowly, just rolling over to one side if you have those props, and then just rolling back onto your back, feet nice and wide, knees not together, and just take a little windshield wiper side to side. Right, we'll slowly bring towards each other. Take your arms out to a T or to a cactus shape. Shift your hips a little to the right and send your knees over to the left. So finding a supine twist. Want to keep the shoulders rooted to the ground. If this is feeling pretty good for you, you want it a little deeper, just cross your right leg over the left leg. And maybe you stay where you are. Just notice if you can close down your eyes and relax your eyebrows here. Bringing all that breath in and just really softly letting that breath go. Make the arms get heavy and then the legs sink into the ground. Just taking another round of breath and just slowly rolling onto your back. Bringing feet to the ground, feet nice and wide, knees not together. Just take a little pause here. And slowly wiggle the toes towards each other, hips a little to the left, knees over to that right side. Once again, you can keep the knees where they are, or maybe see what it feels like to cross the left leg over the right leg, only if it's available, no pressure. Let your arms relax, send that right shoulder into the earth. Big breath in and a soft breath out. Noticing if you can relax your body that little bit more. Relaxing your facial muscles, letting everything go. Slowly roll into your back, feet to the ground. This time bring knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, a little rock side to side. Pull your knees nice and wide. And either stay here or grab your feet for a happy baby. Soles of feet to the sky. And take a little rock side to side. And slowly bring your legs all the way down to the ground. Now, option here for our end of class, you can take your legs long and find a Shavasana laying down, maybe take a full body stretch, or take a seated variation. So just how we started practice. So maybe coming up to a seat. So your choice, we've only just got a couple of minutes. So finding a resting pose that feels good, whether you are laid on your back still, whether you are seated. But I invite you to close down your eyes. Allow your shoulders to melt. And listen to your breath. Allow your breath to become softer. Allow your legs to get heavier into the ground. Allowing your arms to sink. Just noticing how the hips feel. Bring a bit of softness there. Scanning your body from head to toe. Bringing all that softness in. And sending attention to your heart center. If it feels comfortable, maybe placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And just taking a soft breath in. And just noticing the exhale. Noticing how you show up for you every single day. Noticing what you can do for yourself to allow your body and your mind to feel complete. What brings you joy? It can be the smallest of things. After you practice, do something small for yourself that brings you joy. It can be something really simple. For me, I'm going to make myself a nice coffee. And that makes makes me smile, that brings me joy. Think of one thing that you could do for yourself today. Show yourself that love so that you can show up for the rest of the world, all your loved ones. We're going to end our practice with some cleansing breaths. Whenever you are ready, if you want to come to a seat, if you're not already there, wherever you are, take a big breath in, maybe even extend your arms up over your head. And slowly bring hands down towards heart center. Take a cleansing breath in through your nose. And a big breath out of your mouth, let it all go. Just bowing your head, give yourself gratitude today for coming to your mat, doing something important for you, and showing yourself some self-love today. Namaste.